Okay, it's recording. Okay, good. Sorry.
Okay, awesome. So I asked Kelsey to come on and talk to you guys today about building your personal business and some of the things that I've done in my business. So quick background, I started my business 2.5 years ago. I used the product for a few months before that, and then I started my business. Never wanted to do this, right? Like, how many of us are the same, right? We're like, we were never gonna be that girl, and here we are slinging shampoo. So I was the same way, and I was super cautious about what I talked about. I had been blogging, so I had a little bit of a social media presence. So I had a group of people that really trusted what I said. So I was super cautious about talking about money. But going into it, when I decided to do my business, I really looked at the company and the compensation and things. And one of the things that stuck out to me was this personal sales bonus. And I was like, okay, what? Like, if I just work harder myself, like I can control that, right? Because what can we control in this business? Ourselves, right? That's it. We probably all know by now that you cannot make anybody do anything in this business, but you can control what you do in your personal business. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, because I, in 2.5 years, have never missed that extra sales bonus. I've had over 3,500 PV every month. My highest month was 10,800 PV. And in July, I decided this year, in June and July, I was like, you know what? The industry's telling me that these J months are cursed, right? They're awful. And I was like, screw that. Like, I'm doing this. Like, I am in control. I don't care what someone else has decided for me in my business. I'm going to decide that I'm going to do this and I'm going to crush it. And so in July, my PV was almost 8,000 in one of the J months, right? So I, first of all, just want to say, make the decision, because it's up to you and your business, what you do. It is completely up to you. Lindsay can't make you do it. You know, no other person that you heard on stage at Monations or personal development speaker is going to make you do it. You have to decide you want this and you're going to put in the work to do it. So that's number one. The second thing, kind of going along with that, is you have to write it down. I will tell you, the months when I didn't start the month writing down my goals, that personal volume, the rank I wanted to hit or maintain, how many new VIPs I wanted, how many new market partners. If I didn't pen to paper that, on the months I didn't, it was like, meh, you know, or at the end of the month I was scrambling. On the months I did, I exceeded those goals because they were written down, they were claimed, right? I started the month claiming what I wanted and going out and then putting in the work to do it. Okay, so write it down. And if you think what I'm about to talk about is like voodoo, all this personal development stuff, I'm telling you, it's the biggest part of my business. It's the number one thing I will not be without. Every day I'm doing my personal development, I'm writing those goals down, I'm doing affirmations, and these are things that a lot of people disregard. We all think there's some secret sauce. There's like some magical, like, well, what aren't you telling me? What training do I need to watch? Who do I need to listen to? Like, what am I not getting? It's all right here. It's all in our mind. And that's why I say it's up to you, because it's all what you're telling yourself. It's what you're writing down and those goals. It's what you're listening to. It's what you're thinking about all day long. Like, those are the things that are going to show up in your life. I promise you this. I promise. We've heard all about it, and I know you've heard that, but I'm just here to say, get some affirmations. If you're struggling with anything in this business, getting customers, getting market partners, whatever it is, it's always one or the other, right? Like, I can't get market partners who want to do the business, or I can't get VIPs to sign up. It's one or the other. So whatever it is, challenge yourself for a month or however long to get some affirmations that are really honed in on those things, and then listen to them. Record them in your own voice. The Think Up app, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's amazing. Think Up. It has all these affirmations, and then you can record them in your own voice and listen to them. It's like you're telling yourself. You can put it on a loop and like time it, and you're telling yourself, I'm going to read you guys a couple of my customer based ones that I've listened to over and over to now. That's just how it is. But the first one is, I magnetically attract the best customers by delivering value with no attachment to the outcome. You imagine listening to that over and over and over, you believe it. And then that's what happens. Another one is, I put myself in front of people who already want to buy my products, and so they do. Like that attraction of like, people already want this and they're coming to me and they buy it. No big deal. There's no hang up. They don't care. They don't care about orders. They don't care about $20 fee. Like, they want it and they're ready and they buy it. And that's my attitude towards it. It's never this like, oh my gosh, nobody saw it. It was just like, I want that sales bonus, which means I'm going to get a lot of customers, which is awesome. And everybody wants it and everybody needs it. And that's just kind of the attitude you have to take. So if you're in that place of like, woe is me, which is fine, but let's get you out of it. Like, if you're in that place, you can turn it around, but you have to put in some of these things that maybe you've been avoiding up to this point. Maybe you've thought, oh, that's fine for them, or she's just a hippie, so that's cool, but not me. I challenge you guys to try it and see things turn around once you start working on your mindset more intentionally. That every day, listen to those 2 affirmations every day for a month, you're gonna have a totally different outlook next month, right? Okay, so next tip is make a plan. Okay, I plan out my month. I plan out, so when I was going into July, I made the goal of 6,000 PV. I was like, okay, like, it's July. I'm going to totally do something outrageous. Like at the beginning of the month, I thought, this is so audacious. 6,000 PV in July of all the months. Like, who am I? But I am going to do it, right? And when on the 20th of July, I hit 6,000 PV, I upped it to 7,500. I was like, heck yeah, like this crap works. Almost just a little profanity, but it works, you guys. It works, I promise. So make a plan though. You can't just like talk yourself through it and it just shows up. You have to then make a plan. You've got your head in the right space. You're going, I can do this. I know this is possible. If this girl's doing it, I can do it. She has nothing that I don't have. If you see someone do it, then you can too. Okay, so the next step is to make a plan. Charlie, you gotta go for a minute. Sorry, I have one child at home that was supposed to be at preschool. So make a plan. So what that means is for posting, for showing up every day, for being consistent. I have run and built my business through Instagram. You might do it different, right? You might do it in person, or you're doing events, or you're cold contacting, or you are on Facebook, right? I had 0 Facebook friends when I started Monate. I did everything through Instagram, everything, but I made a plan for that. I show up every day. I educate. I provide value. I'm not just always asking for a sale. I'm not constantly going on there and asking, you know, for people to buy stuff. I have a plan. So what that means is, here's some ideas for you guys. If you're stuck on this like content and like, oh, well, I can't, there's nothing to post. Well, I'm going to throw a few ideas at you. And I'm telling you, I'm good at this. I'm good at, now he's mad, sorry. I'm good at coming up with ideas for things to post because there's so many. So for example, you can educate and give value on the no list. That list of things we don't include could be what, 12 different posts right there. Like, it doesn't have to just be like, hey, here's what we don't include, but like break it down and teach people. I just had one of my market partners, one of my MMBs who's like amazing at ingredients and stuff. She just did a training this morning in our group on fragrances and phthalates and like just killed it, right? And I was like, oh, this is such good content, right? Like, people need to know this stuff. We need to be educating. So if you don't know it, then learn it and then turn around and say, hey, I just learned what phthalates are. And you guys, do you even know how terrible these are for our body? And my shampoo doesn't have that, you know? So that's just one. The no list could be so many different posts. Then we have so many products. Each one could be a different spotlight. If you don't use it, find someone who does, right? And what do they love about it? Get testimonials from your customers and why they love those products. How the products work, you know, what makes them different? Why is Monat different? That's a big question we get asked. So what's separating it? What is anti-aging hair? Like, what does this even mean, right? The referral program, there's a post. VIP perks could also be broken down into so many posts, right? You could do one just on the birthday coupons. How many of your VIPs even know what they are, how they work, or miss the email, right? So that could be a post and some education for people. Tutorials, types of damage on the hair. If you were in, sorry, I talk really fast when I get excited, but if you were in Vegas, there was an awesome presentation by Dr. Toasty, and I recorded it, and it's been pinned to the announcements in my team page ever since. And since then, one of my market partners created an entire class based on that video, like types of damage, right? Like, what is mechanical damage? There's a post, right? What is chemical damage? And then tips, like what are some things you can do to prevent damage? Wear scrunchies, wear your hair down more often, you know, sleep on a silk pillowcase. There's one post right there, silk pillowcase and why it's good. Like, just make a plan and provide so much value to people that they're being educated in the process. And then when you do have that sale or you do have that deal, they're way more likely to buy because they're like, man, yeah, I remember you talking about this and I want it. And like, I want my hair to do that, or I want this skincare because, which PS, you guys, I'm obsessed, like, obsessed with this skincare. So many posts within that. And that's just kind of focused on what I've been doing for the hair care. So now that we've added skincare, the sky is the limit, right? I've been educating myself and like, okay, now it's like I just started brand new. So here's another kind of segue from that, is that if you've been stuck in your business, which I think we all have gone through that, and if you haven't, you will, so just expect it, right? We all go through this period where we kind of feel stuck. And mine was right after I hit Triple M, and then I kind of got in my head too much and I totally like sabotaged myself and got stuck. I just stagnant, right? Just nothing was moving. So if you've been in that place or you're there now, you just got like a brand new free pass to start your business over, right? You have a whole new warm market with this skincare. We just launched an entire new line. What did they say at Monations? We sold $435 million in just hair care last year, which is an $89 billion industry. We just opened up a $122 billion industry we just got into. So you just expanded your business into a whole new market. So maybe if you haven't been like super successful right away with the hair care, maybe skincare is like going to really appeal to your people. Maybe you talk to someone and they're like, it's somebody's hair pillow or whatever they say. Like, talk to them about skincare. You have a whole new warm market. It's like you started your business over again because you just launched into basically a whole new line that you can educate about and talk about. It's so awesome. So exciting. Okay. So then after all of that, right, you wrote down your goal, you got your head in the right space. Oh, I missed a step that's really important. Okay, I'll come back to that. Then the last thing, obviously, is action, right? You can make a plan all day long. You can write it down. You can talk about it. You can complain to your upline that things aren't happening. You can do that. That's one way. Right? It's not the way to be successful, but that's one way. Or you can take action. In July, when I decided that I was going to do something audacious and crazy that like seemed so wild at the time, I took action. I thought, okay, what have I not done? I'm going to start sending out more email campaigns. I went into my VIP, I use several different apps, but I used the Hit 'em Up app. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it allows you to like create groups of contacts, and then you can create one text, but then customize who it's being sent to, and you can kind of change it as it's being sent. So I used that in July, and I went into my VIP order, list and saw, okay, who didn't order in June, because I'm not going to blast people who just ordered, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, now you need to order again because I have a big goal and this is all about me, right? No. What I did was I took the list of any of my VIPs who hadn't ordered in the previous month, and I sent them each a text. I sent over 120 texts. Like, it took a while, but I dedicated an afternoon to that, and I did it. And I sent those messages out. I did email campaigns. I showed up in my stories every day. I showed up, I educated, I talked, I was excited. I posted consistently. I did more videos. I started doing IGTV videos and really like providing education. I did a how to wash properly and how to do an oil scalp treatment video. I kind of redid some of the things I'd already posted. So I did all of that. I took massive action and went with my plan. I planned it out. I thought, okay, what value can I provide? I know there's going to be sales I can talk about, but what am I doing in between the sales, right? And then I did the things. I took action. And then also, you obviously have to, that was just for current customers, right? That was just for people I already had. Then you have to follow up with people you've talked to and keep that running conversation going. So one thing that I missed that has been really beneficial for my team, I just did a workshop on this last week, and it was just so valuable, was we have to think about, who are we even talking to? Like, if you're running a business through social media, who do you even want as a customer? Who do you want as a business partner? Who is that person? Are you clear? We call these like customer avatars or business partner avatars. So who is that person? And I really challenge you guys to take some time and think about this. I did a whole hour-long workshop. I made them write out a bio for this person and like do a word map and all the things. But it's really valuable once you're clear on who you want. Then on your social, in this plan, in your posts, you start talking to that person, right? For a long time, I attracted the same type of people by the way I was talking. And they were people who just wanted to be my friend, which is great, right? And I love them all. But I want some hardcore business women too on my team. So I have shifted the way I've been talking, because now I have a really clear image of who I want. So whether that's business partners or customers, get really clear and don't be afraid to be like, mine has a name, right? Like, who cares? Her name is Kate and she's coming, right? Like, be clear, like age range. Are they married? Do they have kids? Are they single? Are they a businesswoman? Do they work from home already? Are they in direct sales? Like, who is this person? Are they in college? Where do they live? Who are you going after? Older women who are thinning? Like, who is it? Get clear. And then you'll start talking on social media to those people and just really getting clear. And if people drop away, great, because that means the right people are coming. They are. And this stuff isn't going to just magically appear. Like, you have to be consistent. I know we're like, consistency, like, it's like the big word, but it's the most important word. Like, you have to make the plan, you have to take the action and be consistent with it. And it doesn't have to take all day. I think people think I'm on my phone 24/7, and I'm not. I'm very guarded with the time that I'm on my phone, because the reason I'm doing this business is I have 4 small children and I want more time with them. I want more present time. So this business has only enhanced that. It hasn't gotten in the way of that. So there's a way to do it, and a way to be successful and do these things that I've talked about and build that personal business without it like burning you out and without it totally draining you, and just like, because then it's not fun for anyone, and that's when people quit. right? When they get too overwhelmed. So there's a way to do it. I don't know if you guys are doing power hours. Lindsay and I have kind of talked about that, but there's other trainings out there on the power hour, how you can work your business in an hour a day effectively. And just like there's tools there. There's tools there to help you. Obviously, Lindsay's team page is freaking phenomenal. I begged her to let me in. Just I was like, please let me in your team page. And it's amazing. And they're providing so much for you guys. But hopefully some of that's helpful. I know, Lindsay, do you have anything else you want me to like clarify or talk a little bit more about?
I was going to see if anyone has any questions. I saw Chelsea. Sorry, I just thought I heard something. I saw Chelsea put in the chat that affirmations, we all used to do affirmations daily, and then it just dropped at some point. So I'm glad that she noticed that and it's like bringing that back up. The things I was thinking about is we talk about action, but can we talk a little bit more about intentional action? Because in order for you to work your business in the time you do, and like the boundaries you have, that you don't do calls at night and stuff because you respect your family time and all of that. So like just a little bit more about, in order to be able to live the life you are saying you want to live, I guess, like that you want to not work at night and stuff. Well, what are the intentional actions that have to take? Not more of like, what are the actual things, but just a little on like, I don't know, focus in the hour and stuff like that.
Yeah. So for me, that was totally something I had to learn the hard way, right? Because it is easy, especially in the beginning when it's like, oh, people are interested, you know, and there's messages coming in and it's like, oh, I have to respond right now. Like it was something I had to learn that people can wait and that I'm running this business for me. And so honestly, that power hour is huge for me. And when I'm kind of interviewing new market partners and kind of like, you know, seeing if they're a good fit for me and my business, I ask them like, how much time do you have to spend on this business every day? Right. And if they're like, oh, I could easily put in an hour a day. I'm like, okay, we'll see. Right. Just a sec. What, buddy? Okay. Just 1 minute. I'm almost done. So I asked them that and I'm like, okay, I have a plan that will teach you how to work this business in an hour a day. There's scripts out there. I can get it to you guys if you don't have it, but it's basically breaking down income producing activities, right? Because I could spend all day doing social media. Like I just talked about the posts and the planning and the videos, and like you can spend a lot of time doing that, but the things that are going to make you money is the reaching out, right? And the events and like the VIP check-in and customer care and that kind of stuff is the stuff that's going to make you money. So really sitting down, focusing for an hour a day and saying, okay, for 20 minutes, I'm going to prospect, right? I'm going to reach out for 20 minutes. And then for 10 minutes, I'm going to follow up. For 5 minutes, I'm going to, you know, and just going through those things just in 1 hour, it's so effective. And it's so helpful for me because even if that's all I do that day, I'm like, wow, like I got a lot done today. So for people who are trying to fit it in the cracks, if you honestly can give an hour to this, you can be super effective in that hour, but you have to commit, right? You have to like sit down and commit and do it. And that's just what you have to learn. Like, oh, you know, it's easy to get lost in the scroll. It's easy to put a post on social media and think, oh, I worked today. I did it. Like I totally worked. Like,
yeah, there's more than that. But I feel like you make it look very effortless the way you do it, because you show up. I don't know if anyone shows up more consistently than you. Like the way you show up is just, everything is just educational and stuff. So like, do you plan all that stuff ahead? Like when you do it, Instagram TV and stuff, are you planning that ahead, or are you doing it in that hour, or is that extra time?
Yeah. So I plan my social media. I use actually the Plan app, PLANN. I use that app, and I have certain like values, I call them, that's like who I am on social media, and that's what I talk about there. And then I stick to those values, and then I make a plan. I try and do a month at a time, but I do at least a week at a time, where I'm sitting down, giving myself an hour or however long it takes, and busting out some quote graphics and like, you know, grabbing pictures and putting them into my app to make this plan so that then each day I know what I'm posting and I have the content. So that is extra time, but that's how I run my business, right? If I was doing a lot of events, that would be my extra time. But as far as like daily method of operation stuff, like that power hour is gold for me and my business.
I love that. You're gonna have to send that to me, your layout. But I love that. Do you guys have anything extra? I was just writing down. Those are all the things. Oh, how many customers do you have, out of curiosity? Do you know?
Yes.
That was just me being nosy. That's not anything.
I have about 250 something.
That's amazing. Good for you. That's so amazing. That's where it's at though. But it's like, you look at it, we say do a block a month. So, or yeah, a block a month, you'd have 48 customers each year. So you're in it 2.5 years. You're doing a little bit more than a block a month. You're able to make these big goals because you worked hard for it. You can see that you know how to, well, not that you know how to do it, but you've done it. I feel like sometimes once you've done it, that's why sometimes even just getting that first customer in a month or of your business or whatever makes such a big difference, because that makes it real and makes it show that you're actually capable of doing this. So yeah, kudos to you, man, because you're killing it. You're really, really killing it. Does anyone have any last minute questions before we wrap it up? You have gold in your presence.
I don't know about that.
Especially like the moms on here. Like, do you have any mom tips, or are they usually in school or like this? Like, I feel like some kids have an understanding of like what work is or whatever.
Yeah. So mine have
the stuff on that.
Yeah. So mine have learned. I have. Thanks, Katie. So I have 4 kids, 11 and down. My youngest is 5, who's here getting impatient. But I, at first, like I said, I had to learn. I did it wrong. I was always, trying to respond to every message. And then I would just get frustrated with my kids, which I learned really quick was not how I wanted to be. I was like, okay, something is off here. Like, I should not be like ticked at them because I'm trying to work, right? Like, or pushing them away. Like, I'm working, blah, blah. So I schedule. I prioritize, just like you said, after school hours and through the evening to me are just sacred, because my kids have long days. They go to school, they're at school, gone for 9 hours, 4 days a week, which is a long time. So after school, and we have early bedtime. So after school, I have 3 hours with all my kids. Like, there's no way I'm going to be scheduling anything. I'm not on my phone. I schedule that time when I'm not on my phone at all. So then my kids know, like, there is time, when mom has to get stuff done. Like, obviously times of the year, they know Black Friday that weekend, like, dad knows, like, he's taking them away. Like, they know that is a sacrifice, right? There's certain big sales on the weekends that they just know there's more time to be put in, but I schedule the time. I have to. Otherwise, it's not fun for anybody. So yeah,
I fully agree with you. I love that. I love all of that. What was the last? Oh, do you have any tactics to following up with your sales, or do you just kind of go? I kind of go people like that have been most interested most recently and on like.
Like, I don't need that.
Questions. You can wrap up and go.
Yeah, it's kind of the same, like, yeah, the interest that's been there the most, or if I have someone that I know specifically needed something that's on sale right now, then those are the ones that I would talk to. But I kind of just generally do a follow-up if there's a really good sale. It's not every sale I'm following up with every person, but that's just me. I know a lot of people do. But if there's a really good sale, I don't actually talk about every sale either, like that much. Like, maybe I'll mention one in stories, but if I'm like, meh, like, I know there's going to be something different or better or whatever. So that too, just like picking and choosing. And now we have a sale all the time with the Purchase Plus. Like, it's so incredible. So now that's a shift for me where I'm like, okay, now I need to like shift my approach, right? Like, I need to be really talking about this. And like, if someone's interested, like, and you can get a deal because blah, 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 purchase plus, right? So that,
I love it.
My follow-up is pretty general.
I love it. That's good though. I love all this. I have seriously 4 pages of notes. Like, oh my gosh, that was so great. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
You're so welcome.
The biggest thing I think I take from all of this is that like at the very beginning, you said you have the control of like how big you make this house, wherever this goes, it's all up to you. And it's just so crazy that you guys, no matter where you're at, your weekly checks, if you were like, okay, my weekly checks, all of them go to debt, or all of them go to fund money, or all of them go to whatever. Like, okay, can I ask you a question? Just because I'm very honest, like I've never gotten like 6,000 in GD. Like, what's your highest like weekly check, just to like, for some inspiration?
My highest weekly was over 600.
See, that's amazing. Like you can do life-changing things, and that's all you. That has nothing to do with your team. That's all you. And
Exactly.
There's like it's just so crazy. So you guys like use this to get inspired, and it doesn't matter how big or how little you take it, but realize that the action behind it that's pretty much all it is. And then if you're doing focused action and planned action, it's a lot more fun than running around with your head cut off trying to figure out what to do. And I'm realizing that a lot lately, which is like crazy to me. But yeah, so thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful that you are here able to share with everybody. And yeah, now you can go be with your baby. Phone.
Thank you for having me. I love it.
Yes, thank you. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Kels.
Bye.
All right, bye.